Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Dancing with the Stars review for... I don't know what the theme for this week is, other than that...
Get to know you.
Getting to know you. And what we learned today about the Dancing with the Stars production team is that they're a little bit messy. Can we bring in Steve Harvey? Because this was like one step away from that debacle.
Somebody's getting a talking to tonight, and it's whoever wrote down the wrong answers on the cards. Tyra just called them out.
This is the good thing, is that Monica did not end up being eliminated by this, because can you imagine in the event that Monica was eliminated after thinking she was safe like 30 seconds earlier?
Yeah, no, it was messy, but you know what? It's live TV, and this is one of the joys of watching live TV, is that it sometimes gets messy.
Hey, it gives us something to talk about, because I will admit, there was a brief moment where they claimed that my guy, Vernon Davis, was in the bottom two. I was having a straight-up conniption.
Oh, I just couldn't believe that was happening.
I was just like, what do you guys want from him? He shook his hips in a way that I think 99% of humanity cannot. He brought it. He was great. What do you guys? I was, all the thoughts were in my head. I was not even thinking, oh, this is actually some sort of mistake, because that sounds like the typical, like, silly tinfoil hat stuff that I put the hat. I didn't even have the hat on yet.
Yeah, I had actually, when they announced that Monica was safe, I was surprised, and not because she's a bad dancer. I still don't know anything about her, but we will get into that.
Before we go any further down this very weird road that is this episode, if you guys do enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, give us a like, and if you want to support us more, check those links to the store as well as our Patreon.
Okay, I was really excited about the theme of tonight, which was getting to know people, because there's two people on this show that I don't really know at all, and that is Monica and that is Jessie, and I still don't know anything about them. All I learned about them tonight is that Jessie likes cars, and that Monica thinks that Val is mistreating her in some sort of way and being condescending, and that's all I learned about them. And I really wanted, when I heard the theme, I was like, oh, okay, great, like, they dance pretty well, and that's good, but I really want to make a deeper connection with them.
One of the things that I was kind of hoping for, we'll talk about these two since we're here, with Jessie, was that I don't have a lot in common with Jessie. This is a pretty, a strapling, like, leading man actor type, and it's like, now he also likes cars. I don't drive, my vision sucks, I have no interest in cars. I have somehow even less relatability with Jessie than I did before the show.
Yeah, like, that is all I really know about him. I don't relate to him either. He's good looking and he's got a lot of expensive cars. I'm just like, all right, cool. I was really hoping to get something a little more about his family, a little bit more maybe about his childhood, what's his relationship with, like, his parents. Even if it's great, it doesn't have to be some sort of like a sad sack story. Even it's just like, man, I have really great parents and this is why. This is a little bit of whatever. There's lots of people out there that can relate to that.
I think his dance was fine. Like, I didn't think anything that was really wrong about it. Like, that's the thing at this point, because we have for the sake of these videos, I guess, unfortunately, because we don't get the entertainment value of doing weird cat things, but Carol is gone, so none of the bad dancers are still there.
Yeah, the lowest scores of the night were 21. Jessie got a 21, so he is in the lower end of the scores, but that's still a good score, which is why I like this season so much. It's really pretty even across the board in a lot of ways.
I thought that Monica should not have had a 24. Like, I didn't think her dance was as good as the judges scored it, and I felt like, looking back at it, I'm trying to think, like, what were, like, 2 or 3 defining characteristics of it. Like, it was solid, I guess, but I think maybe I'm just scarred that I have heard, like, Party in the USA at too many grocery stores over the past 10 years that the song...
I still love that song.
It does... I understand it is a catchy song. I'm not here to bag on Miley Cyrus, who I think is a legitimately super talented singer. It's just, I don't know, this routine just felt so predictable to me.
That has been my problem with most of Monica's routines is that they have felt very predictable, and they've all been solid, and that's it. And they're not being memorable to me. And because I don't know her that well, I'm looking for something else to connect with her. So when they had said, "Oh, you're not in the bottom, go," I was just like, are other people finding something to connect with her about, or is it that everyone watches Cheer and I am the only person that hasn't seen it yet?
I think we got our answer tonight. I think it is that she is good enough of a dancer to not be in the bottom, but not a lot of people are really diehard Cheer fans who are out there voting. I kind of thought that Anne was going to go fairly early on this season from the start.
Yeah, so we lost Anne. She got a 21 tonight, down in the bottom of the 21, still a good score.
Yeah.
But her story was really interesting. Do you want to talk about people calling people out? She called out Fox. I was just like, yep, they did this to me. I'm like, wow, okay,
yeah.
Let's just have it out then.
This was pretty shocking to me on a number of different levels, because especially since like Disney owns part of Fox now, and this is all like one big congested family. I don't know if they own that arm of Fox. All that stuff was confusing to me, but I didn't know if she was going to talk about Ellen at all on the show. She hadn't to this point.
No, but it was a really powerful story of sort of like, things were different back then. It hasn't been that long. It's been 10 years, and a lot has changed in those 10 years. But for her to lose everything for a relationship was shocking.
And bold and brave on her part. And I will say this. I don't think Anne was a particularly amazing dancer, but
No.
I was all about the rainbow outfit she was wearing during the dance. I was just like, you go for it, Anne. It's like, I didn't know this much personality existed in her after seeing her play characters on shows over the years.
All right, we got to talk about Nelly. Nelly got 21. I liked his dance. I'm a Nelly fan, but also I like him because he does improve each week. Yeah, it wasn't perfect. It's not like the tens or anything, but I like watching people grow, and I do like that he took more chances even though he looked super, super nervous.
I love the fact that when they kept doing the up, down part of All I Do Is Win, I think his partner was going up and down, and I was like, this is musicality, people.
Oh, it was so
You were
fun.
all dancing a routine to the artiste, otherwise known as DJ Khaled, whose most famous thing is just yelling his name in his songs.
I loved it. I also really loved Chriselle. 22s, which she got tonight. I enjoyed this dance a lot. She is someone else who's improving every single week.
And this week's recipient of the "You Went Early, so we're giving you too low a score" award is Chriselle, who did better than a 22. This was a 24. Change Monica and Chriselle's scores around, I'm probably going to be a little bit happier. Okay,
we also have Neve, who also got a 24. And Neve is someone that I'm really glad that he did something that was soft and sort of flowing as he did, because that last dance he did was so spicy that it was nice to see him do something like this as well. I could see Neve winning the show. I said it. Listen, I know that Caitlin is on this show and she's phenomenal and she has Bachelor Nation, but I said it.
I'm not going to say it, but that's because
I'm saying he could. I feel like he could win the show.
I want to believe in you, Neve. I feel like this is where the audience is booing me in the middle of the judges' routine.
No, listen, I may be out on an island by myself,
think you are.
But we can have a knife fight about it.
Okay,
later.
I'm not at knife fight levels here yet. I think Neve is very, very good, and I don't know why I've learned so much about Neve's chest follicles through the first several weeks of this season, but here we are.
They can stop with that.
I do think he is really, really good. This is probably the only reason I have more doubt is just because I'm not someone who is super familiar with Neve, and I don't know what Catfish Nation is like. I'm sure it probably airs on MTV all the time.
It does.
Okay, so he may have a much bigger voting block than I am really aware of. So
yeah. I just also really like that he opened up more sort of about his relationship and how he met his wife, and that he actually, after getting catfished, took another chance with someone online and it worked out.
That was sweet. Yeah, I like Neve a lot. I don't know a lot about him, but I like him. And I love Justina.
Yes.
I think Neve will probably make the finale. I feel pretty good about Justina. I feel like, because I am living in a world where Netflix already canceled one day at a time, I feel like Justina's probably going to get unfairly, like, eliminated in, like, 4th place. It's going to make me really mad.
She is also someone that I could see winning this show. Last week, I wasn't that crazy about her performance with the Mary Poppins, but this week, she went back to this incredibly high bar she has raised for herself. It was great.
I loved it. I love her enthusiasm. It's just... She feels effortless, and I know she's not effortless, but it's just like I feel like I'm watching an entertainer and like not someone who is struggling out there to do a routine. And I don't know if it is that she's on a sitcom and she's used to like performing in front of an audience in some sort of way, but she's really, really good, and I did not expect that entering this season.
And she only got a 24, and I felt like this performance was higher than that, but I'm not a judge. I don't know anything, so here we are.
That is where we always are with Dancing with the Stars, where we are trying to argue with people who are professional and seasoned in their craft. But Caitlin is next, and I still think Caitlin is a strong contender to win. But with that being said, I'm kind of just like looking around right now because it's like Neve, Justina, then you've got my guy Vernon, then you've got Caitlin, then you have Skai. It's like there is legit so many really good contenders right now, and I do think that Caitlin's probably going to be one of them. There's not very much I can criticize about this routine at all.
Yeah, it was a good routine. She's obviously a great dancer. She got a 25. I mean, like, all of this makes sense, but there are a lot of people who had a lot of the same scores. So where it's going to start to come into play is that fan base. And because Bachelor Nation is so big, Bachelorette is kicking off next week, so that'll be another sort of extra boost from the fan base. I mean, she's got a good chance.
Johnny Weir.
Oh, my favorite of the night, Crocodile Rock. I can't hear that song anymore without thinking of Killing Eve now. This was so rock and roll. I loved this. This was my favorite of the night. Do you want to have that knife fight now?
This was my favorite. I was thinking in this whole video, I was like, all right, here we go. I did not expect that we were going to have the same favorite of the night.
Oh, so good. I loved it so much. It was so rock and roll. I loved this, Johnny. It was so good.
Well, like, we don't always have the same musical taste, but I think the thing we do kind of converge on is, well, there are two things. Elton John and Billy Joel. I
love Billy Joel.
We both love both of them so much, and it's like, okay, you give me Crocodile Rock, I'm kind of almost in. You give me whatever that outfit Johnny was wearing, and I'm even more in.
Cool.
You give me the hair that Johnny has. I didn't know Johnny's hair could do that. And it was the choreography was great. The energy was there. It was fun. And Johnny has always been about fun and entertainment. He gets it. I love him.
Better than a 24. They gave him a 24. That was better than a 20. That was the top of the night for me.
It was so good. If Johnny does dances like this, I will vote for Johnny to win this show, and that as somebody who is delivering Vernon's sermon later, that is not an easy thing for me to say.
Yeah.
Jeannie, I am surprised that Jeannie got a 21. I like her a lot. I think she's got a lot of energy. She's just in this weird spot where it feels like she's waiting to kind of have that next breakout performance, and she's not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, she had a little stumble, but I'm glad they didn't, like, really hit her as hard as they've hit, like, Skai. And I know that Skai's was a lot bigger earlier on in the season, but just the same. I mean, she got a 21, Jeannie, and yeah, for me, I just like her. So whenever she's performing, I'm enjoying what she's performing. I do want to see it kind of be brought to that next level, but she's just so positive, and I love seeing that energy coming off the screen. She makes me excited about this show, and she makes me feel like I can dance, and I promise I can't. Yeah, that's okay. I'm worse than that.
Oh, that I don't know about that. I don't know. Okay, yeah, thank you for your applause, everyone, and with that in mind, I'm just going to pretend that is applause introducing 10. Hey, I got a 10. All right, now Let's deliver Vernon's sermon, everybody. It is time.
Vernon got a 22.
Okay, judges.
Here we go.
We gotta have a talk here about this. Did you see the hips? And it's like, Bruno is like, and like doing his whole thing about the extension. I saw a good arm extension there. I was hating on my guy Oak earlier this season for this. And Vernon, he brought everything you could want to this. He was lyrical. He was emotional. Here's the only critique I have is not about Vernon. It's about you give him this really sweet, like, touching story about his grandmother and his family, and it was all so endearing. And then you have him do, like, a rumba, which is, like, a very different sort of... Everybody else, it felt like they had a story, and then they had a dance that was kind of, like, mirroring their story. Yeah. Why did Vernon have to do, like, the total opposite of, like, that? And then it's like, okay, Vernon, now you must go do a romantic rumba to Let's Stay Together.
I really love this dance, and I loved his backstory. I didn't know anything about Vernon before the season. I'm not a football person, I'm not a sports person, but I am a Vernon person now, and I loved his backstory because I also had my grandparents help raise me, and there's a really, grandparents, they're really special. So having that in your life while you're growing up, it's a very special thing. So when I heard him talking about it, I was like, oh, when you think you can't like him anymore, then he just pulls out the grandma card and it's like, and here it is. I like you more.
Vernon had one of my two favorite post-dance moments of the night. We had...
Better than eating the cupcake off the table last week.
That's still better. You can't top that. But I loved him doing, like, the gyrating of the hips while the judges were talking. It was just as good as... Well, earlier on, I think it was after Caitlin and Artem were performing. Like, Artem is her partner, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. If not, we'll edit this out and you guys will never see it. But
it's 17 minutes.
It's 17 minutes. But at the end of the routine, Artem, like, looked to the camera and was like, this is for you. Jason's like, Artem, this is you. You were not the one with Jason. You were with Nikki Bella, your other partner. It's like, okay, if you were more excited about the dedication than Caitlin is, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Okay, we're going to talk about Skai now, who got the first 10 of the season and deserved it. That was great. I loved it. And one of the things that I liked about it so much is, like, I've already been sort of saying this season where it feels like Alan's like her proud dad and like, good job, Skai, awesome, Skai. This is the first thing where I felt like it was more like they were both adults having a very adult dance. And it was something that I had wanted to see, and I really felt it tonight, and I liked it a lot.
I loved this performance. I think it is the best thing that Skai has done on the show so far. I appreciated her opening up and talking a lot about Cameron Boyce, and because I know the two of them were close, and I've grown up around people who have had seizures. I have cerebral palsy. I had really minor ones when I was a kid, and so like that, that stuff always emotionally affects me, and I just thought this was a really worthy tribute. It was powerful. I was surprised with the 10, not because it wasn't merited. It was just because usually they don't hand out 10s this early on in the season.
No, they don't. But that 10 and that 28 score she got totally deserved it. That was so great. What a great dance.
Okay, and we're closing with AJ. This is tough for me, and I'm already fearing for Backstreet Nation that's going to come for my head. Let me couch this.
All right, he got a 24. We'll start with that.
He got a 24. His routine was very good. I love Larger Than Life, one of my favorite Backstreet Boys songs. Is it a little bit shenanigans that AJ gets to have, like, the added boost of, like, having his whole group perform virtually with him during the routine? It's like you're not bringing...
100%.
You're not bringing... Okay, Vernon Davis's teammates are going to come out and do the dance.
Yeah, you're going to get to do a dance with the Backstreet Boys singing for you and dancing with you, and you're basically having a Backstreet Boys concert that nobody, no one has seen you guys in 6 months because of everything that's going on. It was definitely stacking things for him, but I'm not mad about it. I like him. I like his energy. I liked his dance. I don't care. I'm here for it.
Next week, Nelly's bringing out Tim McGraw, who's going to do the routine to their song over and over again. He's getting the country vote now, Nelly is.
I would like it.
I did like the routine. I like the routine. I do feel like, though, it also, there were times when it kind of cut away from whatever AJ was doing, and we were like with the other guys, and I like the routine. Don't get me wrong. Don't come for me back. Backstreet's back. I'm not arguing with any of this.
Listen, the only thing that I would have liked to have seen a little less of until now they can all come for me is him by himself on the stage with everyone. And I understand that they were trying to, give him that moment with the Backstreet Boys. I wanted to see more of the dance. I had actually sort of the way they were explaining it, I thought I was going to get just a straight up Backstreet Boys performance. I thought it was like, as the show was going on, I'm like, oh man, is there actually going to be time for this? Because like the show feels like it's getting closer and closer to the end, and I thought it was going to be like, okay, we're going to have an AJ performance, and then we're going to have a Backstreet Boys performance, and that's what I thought was happening. So I understand why it came out the way that it did.
Yeah, I understand. It felt like something they would do on the finale. Like, that's really it to me, where they have like the special performances before the results. But anyway, that is our take on a very crazy night of Dancing with the Stars. I hope we did not have any card reading errors at any point in this video. We'll see about the Artem thing I said earlier. Yeah, we'll see about the
Artem thing. You guys we'll fire our card reader person.
I'm firing myself, everyone. But anyway, what did you think about this episode? Tell us your favorites, your least favorites, your take on the results in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe. Support us further. Check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.